Hello and welcome to Just a Bit Outside, the baseball movie podcast brought to you by Bucko Banter. Today, Chris and I review Angels in the Outfield. And normally I do a pretty interesting, witty cold open, but this is a really important one today, Chris, because if you're a longtime listener, you know that not even just our running gag, but a running theme in almost every movie that we've watched is a lack of a parent. Normally, it's a dead dad. But today, we review the final boss of parentless baseball movies.
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Order steak by the plates, and in case after case, run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snake.
Christopher Miller, how the heck are you?
I'm back from a week's vacay. Finally, well, I guess it was like 4 days, but I took some time to sit down, carve out a couple hours to watch Angels in the Outfield, and rekindle love affair with a movie that I remember seeing in 1994.
I really enjoyed this one. We just to comment on the cold open there. We are introduced to the singular biological parent in this movie in the first scene, and then immediately he's off the scene. He's out of there. Nary a biological parent in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, we get to see biological dad a number of times as the wheels of justice turn. But no, we've got some dead parents. Got a couple dead ones. Got a live one. Not a good guy.
Bad guy.
Right. We got the foster system. So we've got a lot. There's more parentless children in this than I think in any other movie we've covered so far. And we've covered a lot.
It's a wild one. So like you said, this is a 1994. I'll call it classic. This is a classic. It is a remake.
Yeah, this is absolutely a classic.
It is a remake of a movie that features the Pittsburgh Pirates. This one doesn't feature the Pittsburgh Pirates.
It makes more sense that it covers the California Angels.
Yeah.
The Pirates, like Pirates in the Outfield. But the Pirates, they needed help in 51.
We could use a couple Angels on this day.
Is it cheating? Is divine intervention cheating? I don't think it is.
Are you winning? If you're winning, no. If you're losing, absolutely they're cheating.
I was going to say, like, what if you were on the other end of divine intervention just beating your team real bad?
It's cheating.
It would feel bad.
It would be absolutely diabolical to learn and confirm that, God is real, and then in the same breath learn that you are not favored by that God. Like he likes the other team, or she, or they, whatever. Yeah. I don't know God, but whatever it is, they like the other team more. That's brutal. That's tough.
Like, why even bother like walking out of the clubhouse if you have to if you got to compete against the 9 other guys, and also God.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. And you passed on him in the draft? Tough.
You bet. I'm gonna say this. You better take him BP that day because you're gonna be needing it.
And William Deere put that story on screen. I will say this about the cast. This is not just the most stacked cast of any movie that we've reviewed. This goes down as one of the most stacked casts of any movie that's literally ever been made. It is nuts.
There's some real heaters here, man.
We got Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Milton Davis Jr. as the two main children in the movie. Danny Glover playing George Knox, the manager of the Angels. Brenda Fricker as the foster mother. Christopher Lloyd as the head angel. Tony Danza as the boss, a.k.a. Mel Clark. And J.O. Sanders as all-time name, Ranch Wilder. Uncredited on our screen. Matthew McConaughey and Adrian Brody also in this one. Crazy. Yep. Just 2 Oscar winners. Adrian Brody, multi-time, just riding the bench on this one. Crazy. Right. Absolutely nuts.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, doesn't he have a nomination?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt has a ton of these guys. Joseph Gordon-Levitt has noms. He has Grammy noms. Danny Glover has a humanitarian Oscar. Christopher Lloyd is a multi-time Emmy winner. I mean, it's crazy. Tony Danza is a professional boxer. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, that's the craziest part about Danza is he was a professional boxer, and his record is pretty good.
Winning record. I mean, this movie, the cast is just stacked on this one. This is great. So let's break it down here. Opens up just a scene, a bunch of clouds, right? We're rolling through the credits. Right off the rip, Roger, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and JP, played by Milton Davis Jr., riding their bikes. We find out Roger has a dead mom and a deadbeat dad, who we will soon meet. JP, mom's off the scene, dad's off the scene. We weren't actually told exactly what is going on with either of his parents. We think mom is nowhere to be found and potentially dead dad.
Yeah, dad's, because he says maybe your mom and my dad are friends in heaven. So dad definitely passed away. Mom remains unclear. So we do get a dead dad. Can't not have that. You have to do it. It's a prerequisite.
We find out that they are in a foster home together, being raised by Maggie. And when they get back, Roger's dad is there visiting him. And we know he's a bad guy because he rides a motorcycle.
Oh, we got 3 big strikes against him. And this one, he's riding a Harley. He's wearing a leather jacket, and he's smoking cigarettes.
Yep, that is...
You're out of here, Buster.
Straight to hell.
And he can't pay child support or whatever, but he can sure pay that barber, because he's got a beautiful head of hair.
He says, "Hey, kid, see you later." Puts the cigarette out on his leg, which, like, bro, why would you ruin your jeans?
Right. Also, how are you just smoking in Maggie's house? It's a foster home.
Yeah, it's
you just walk into somebody's house and just light a cig.
Bad guy.
The house is full of children. They aren't hers. She's caring for children, and he's just like, "I'm gonna burn one real quick."
Bad dude. And he basically
pulls it
just
out
says,
of his leather jacket.
"Hey, I'm signing your rights over to the state. I don't want to be your dad anymore. And your mom's dead. So see you later." And then he hops on the Harley. He says, Roger says to him, "Will we ever be a family again?" He says, "Yeah, when the Angels win the pennant." And then he just rides off. Terrible guy.
Not a good guy. And you can tell the thing that's, like, for us, the audience, and especially like as adults now looking back, all Roger wants is his dad. He just wants the like, that's it. And we know that this guy sucks, but Roger doesn't care because that's his dad. He just wants that more than anything. And it's tough.
It's quite sad.
It is. It's sad. Very sad.
And we return to this theme throughout the movie that even though Roger's dad, in like the opening scene, is just like, "I don't want you. I'm literally turning you over to become a ward of the state." Roger's like, "I would just rather have my dad," even though he doesn't want me. Quite sad. But what do these two lads do when they're not missing their parents? They go to watch the Angels, unfortunately, because the Angels are terrible.
They're not great.
We get a pretty fun shot here of Roger and JP in a tree watching the game through some binos, some binoculars. And what they're watching is bad baseball.
It's not good.
We see center fielder and left fielder collide. Center fielder being played by Matthew McConaughey. That is Ben Williams. And, they collide. Not good. We see the catcher, who is just... He's a big boy.
He's a lad. He is a stout lad.
He is
looking like Spanky LaValley.
He should not be on an MLB team.
No.
And I'm going to leave that one there.
He should be at the Nathan's hot dog chomping contest.
He should be. We see the manager then, George Knox, played by Danny Glover, go to take the pitcher out. There's a dispute between them, and the manager and the pitcher get into a fight.
A fist fight. Like they're throwing hammers.
A physical altercation. Like it's fisticuffs occurring here, which boils over into the whole Angels team fighting. Great scene here. They're playing the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays start to rush out of their dugout. And the manager just says, "That's not our fight. This isn't a benches clearing brawl. This is bench clears."
This is them fighting.
The Blue Jays
is the second movie in a row that we had where the team fights themselves.
It actually just fools. Just the whole team fighting each other. Needless to say, the team is not doing well.
Not great.
Literal infighting, not just like verbal altercations, physical altercations. We get the kids in the tree. They make a point to show that like literally no one goes to these games and no one cares. But still, for some reason, the security guard who was like on the level, eye level with the tree, turns, sees Roger and JP in the tree and says, "You kids better have tickets for that tree." Bro, who cares? There's 3 people at this game.
Right.
I mean, unbelievable. And we also find out that the broadcaster, Ranch Wilder, used to also manage this team, the California Angels.
Yeah, former ball player, former manager.
Current broadcaster, and we will soon learn kind of a sleaze.
Not a great dude.
Kind of a sleazy dude. Now we go into
he also smokes cigarettes.
Also,
so he's a bad guy.
In the booth, we'll get him pouring up a little bit, not in a fun, jovial way like Bob Uecker, like Harry Doyle.
Sneaky kind of way.
In a sneaky, low life kind of way.
An underhanded, duplicitous kind of way. Henry Knox, our manager, really likes flipping things. He flips a lot of stuff through the course of this film.
We have a locker room kind of crash out here where he is just calling the whole team out. And he says, "You guys are huge losers. You all suck. The next guy that doesn't make a play, I'm going to do this to you." And he flips over the table and hits the bat stand. The bats go flying everywhere. The pitcher gets hit with the bat. We have a like quintessential you meet everybody in the locker room scene, and then manager just complete like Fukushima level meltdown, like right off the bat. And it's just like not good. And then we immediately cut to Knox having a conversation with the owner of the team. And he's pleading, there's a thing called talent, and these guys do not have it.
I love that.
He's selling his whole team out.
Right. They don't have it.
And the owner goes,
"They never seen one of them."
I understand what era this movie took place in, and I understand that this is a fictional narrative that there's about to be literal angels in the outfield here. But this part struck me as so funny. The owner just goes, "This isn't Cincinnati, George. Nobody expects you to win."
I have that written down. This isn't Cincinnati.
So good.
Like just the absolute powerhouse of the early 90s, the Cincinnati Reds.
It's funny. And then he is
Joey Votto was only 35 years old, so he had a young, fresh-faced, almost 40.
I don't even want to think. I love Joey Votto.
Joey Votto was such a dick whenever I was working downtown.
Recently, I don't even know if he's a friend of ours after this, and I'm not going to name any names. We've recently had an acquaintance tell us that Joey Votto is a better hitter than either Ichiro Suzuki or Tony Gwynn. And I just want to let you know that if anyone thinks that, you're a criminal who deserves.
You should go to jail for 30 years. Bare minimum.
I actually think it's probably something along the lines of like a public stoning. I think it's capital. Truly,
that was one of the most insane things I've ever heard in my entire life, and it was said with the chest.
100% sincerity.
That was correct.
Crime.
What an insane thing to say in front of like a group of people.
Yeah.
Like if you kind of like mumble something like that under your breath at a bar next to like your buddy, that's still not okay.
I don't. Yeah, we're gonna let that one lie, but you know who you are. Right after George Knox is having this discussion with the owner, he says, "Hey, you have an interview with Ranch Wilder," and George Knox drops an all-time heater on this one right here. And I need former guest Noah Hiles and former guest Alex Stumpf to open their ears for this one. Press are all scum. They're meant to be kept waiting. Fire. And then he goes down to do the interview with Ranch Wilder, and they get into a tussle. The manager of the Angels is just fighting everybody left and right.
Got a bit of a temper on him, old Henry Knox.
He's a bad guy. George Knox. Who's Henry Knox?
Oh, Henry Knox was a Revolutionary War general. Sorry.
There you go. Now we go back to the foster home. We meet the third child who is in the foster home with Roger and JP. His name is Miguel. He's mean. He's really mean to JP. Not cool. And here we get the catalyst for these angels here. Roger looks up into the stars and he has a conversation with God, basically saying, hey, my dad, loser, says that we're not going to be a family again until the Angels win the pennant. And God, if you're real, the one thing I need from you, forget what's going on at this time, early 90s, literally apartheid. Forget that. What I need from you is the Angels winning the pennant, right? And God literally answers his prayers about the Angels winning the pennant. Spoiler alert. That's what the whole movie's about, obviously. Crazy. I would say that there are bigger problems happening in the early 90s, but who am I to question, That part kind of blew my mind. So,
well, he did delegate the task.
That's true.
So, like he could have been handling the more important things. He does send one of the Angels is a rookie too. They have to talk about it.
That's true. He didn't send the A.
He sent the B team, but like Al's kind of supervising here.
The A team was in South Africa.
You would hope so.
I certainly would hope so.
You would hope so because I feel like that's slightly more important than the Angels winning a pennant. Because some deadbeat dad tried to make a joke about how bad the Angels were, and a kid took it at face value.
Yeah. We meet Tony Danza's character here, Mel Clark, who is a pitcher whose arm is just torn to shreds, although he's allegedly better. We find out that he played for George Knox in Cincinnati. George shipped him out to never have to deal with him again. And in a cruel twist of fate, George is now managing him again on the Angels, which he never thought was going to happen. Mm-hmm. We have maybe my favorite quote in the movie here. We have the anthem being played here for the first game that we see in the movie. And George Knox's character sheds a tear. And Adrian Brody comes up. His character's name is Hemmerling. And he's talking to Skip and he says, no matter how many times I hear this on a warm summer afternoon, it's just always still so emotionally evocative. And George Knox hits him with a drop dead. I got sunscreen in my eye. Drop dead.
Like, whoa.
Crazy.
And this is like 3 minutes in real time after Tony Danza and Knox are kind of getting into it. That you can tell there's some tension. And Knox is like, you got me addicted to painkillers. And he was like, yeah, and then I traded you. Like, oh my God. Like Knox, bad guy.
Really bad guy.
He was just feeding perks to whoever he wanted. Bad guy.
So at this point, we're probably like 15 minutes into the movie. George Knox has already fought his pitcher, the rest of his team. He called them all losers. He told the owner that his team has no talent whatsoever. He fought the broadcaster, probably deserved. He told his other pitcher that he didn't care that he was addicted to painkillers and traded him so he would never have to see him again. And then he told another one of his players to drop dead. 15 minutes.
I think he's the second baseman. I think he's a middle infielder, but he tells him to drop dead.
Yeah. Wild. Now we have the scene of Ranch Wilder drinking in the booth. We have a player hit a long fly ball here, and this is where we get our first instance of the Angels. Matthew McConaughey here, Ben Williams, center fielder. He's trucking out there. He jumps, and we see him get lifted up by these Angels to kind of otherworldly heights, just outside of the realm of physical possibility, and catch this fly ball. Only Roger and the viewer of the movie can see the Angels. JP can't see them. The players can't see them. The fans can't see them. This is kind of a la Field of Dreams, right? Only the chosen one can see these angels, these ghosts. Two things from this scene that I thought were really interesting. Number one, the scene of him tracking down this fly ball, it looks like he's just playing on the largest baseball field that's ever been made.
Well, it's the Oakland Coliseum. It's got a big center field.
He's running for this thing for a long time. And two, for 1994, the special effects in this movie are very good. The Angels look really, really good, I think.
Yeah, they're translucent and sparkly, and it kind of helps. Like during that era, you would always see black lines around whatever was superimposed. But the stylistic choice they make it where it's like kind of blurred, they're not quite in focus, works, and it helps quite a bit. But it's what is Roger calling it? People in sparkly pajamas.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Angels they're iridescent. They're angelic for sure. But like the one's like a big fat guy, which is funny.
It's no special effects from like the Scout, but they're pretty good.
I think about the helicopter and the Scout a lot.
Of all the movies we've watched, the one that I think
that's the only special effect in that movie.
Yep.
And it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yep. But this movie, they are very good. And they're about to get better because we're about to meet the head angel, Al, played by Christopher Lloyd. And he sits down next to Roger in the bleachers. And I made a comment on this in the last movie, I think. But his name's Al because he's wearing like the AL umpire hat.
Yeah, he steals one from an umpire.
And again, the hat is sick. He says, just call me Al. And he explains to Roger, the rules about the Angels, right? He explains to him. And he's like kind of shifting and morphing in and out of the guy sitting next to them, who's like this kind of big, gross, nasty fan who's like chugging beer and burping, and he's
a big slob
floating all around to this guy. And the special effects in that part are also quite good, I think.
I do like that Al gives us exposition to the Angels. It's just a nice touch.
Yeah. We learned that the catcher's name is Trisket. I mean, that's
first
awesome.
Name.
Trisket Mesmer.
First name Trisket.
That's awesome. We find that he has an angel helping him. The angel helps him hit dong. And
they both do the tongue out thing.
Yeah,
and you can tell like guys don't know what's going on, but they can tell something's a little amiss. Like when there's an angel, and it's always like we as the audience. I mean, we can see him, but it also plays like a little twinkly tune, so we know an angel's coming.
Yeah, there's a scene later that cuts to Ben Williams, the Matthew McConaughey, the center fielder, and he's just like watching the clip of him make the catch on repeat so he can try to see what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can tell something's happening, but they don't know.
But like whenever Mesmer's up to bat and he's holding the bat, and then you see the Angel kind of grip the bat as well, standing like kind of behind him. And he get like every time they do it, they just kind of like they do like a little shift, like a little shimmy. Like they know that they're getting a little help here, but they don't know what it is. They feel like they just locked in.
We do get Roger saying he said the thing. He says Angels in the Outfield, which, you know, classic. Say the name of the movie. After the game, they announce a giveaway, and the giveaway is a picture with George Knox. JP wins. So JP and Roger get to go down to the field and talk to Skip. On the way down, great line. This movie has a ton of good quotables.
Mm-hmm.
JP looks up to Mel Clark, who's signing autographs. He goes, "Hey, you used to be Mel Clark." Awesome.
Clark hits me. Yeah, I used to be.
Sad.
Like it's very, very depressing.
He goes, he takes the picture with George Knox. He explains a little bit about the Angels. And Knox goes, "Great. A psycho kid. You think they'd screen these people?"
It like nobody really wants to be in the picture. Like JP doesn't want to do it. He's very uncomfortable with like new people. He doesn't want his photo taken. He'll only go with Roger. Knox does not want to be there. And whenever the camera guy is looking through the viewfinder, he just kind of leans out because it's like a prison photo. That's a runner in this movie, and it is hilarious.
It's nobody looks happy at all.
Right.
Nobody
does take the picture. They're all just completely like stone faced. And that's whenever he hits him with the, "Hey man, you got Angels." So he's like, "Cool, this kid's insane. I'm in danger."
Now they win this game, and this is like a monumental thing. This is like the first time they've ever even heard of winning a game. We see the kids go home. Roger asks Maggie about Angels. You know, do you believe in Angels? She says, "Sure." You know, yeah. And while the kids are exploring that topic with Maggie, you know, it's paralleling Knox asking Williams and Mesmer about, you know, what was happening. And they were like, something kind of inexplicable happened. I don't know what it is. It was just a feeling, you know, that we had a little extra help out there. So, okay, now both sides are kind of exploring this. The only person who really knows what's going on and fully buys into it is Roger at this point. But after Knox asks Mesmer and Williams about it, he thinks, okay, maybe there's something else going on here. So he goes to the foster home to look for Roger.
Yeah, and to deliver the pictures. So he has an alibi here. He's not just going to go like talk to children.
Yeah, I mean, what is he, the president? He goes, they give the prison photo runner again, which is great because even Maggie's like,
is it JP the one that says it, or no, Roger? Man, takes a look. Wow, it looks like a prison photo.
I think it is JP.
Might be.
But they say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe you guys are telling the truth. Maybe not. Who cares? I want you guys to come to the next game, the kids, and maybe you're our good luck charm." So they go to the next game. Al is back, and this is where he explains some more of the rules. So they never make commitments, right? So he's not going to promise them the pennant. He's just going to say, "We're here to help around." That's it. You know, we're not going to promise.
They choose when they help. Like it's not up to you. It's up to us.
Yeah. Even though he prayed for this to happen, and the next day it happened, you know, the kids now have a bit of a handler, so to speak. It's a PR guy for the team who is tasked with making sure that these two youths are cared for while they are at the ballpark.
And he's
three-piece suit kind of guy.
He's also new to this position because they just keep firing them because they all hate George Knox a lot.
So he was told that he was going to be fired by the end of the week, but now he has job security because he's taking care of the kids. which it to just disastrous effect for David here, because at the first game,
he's a real stuffed shirt. This David Montaigne.
He is wearing his tan suit. He three-piece situation, very nice linen no less, required in those California summers. And he's just getting stuff spilled all over him. He's sitting on nachos. I mean, he's just every slapstick joke in the book is happening to this guy.
Yeah, he gets the drink in the crotch. He gets the mustard on the shirt. Sitting in the nachos is a good bit.
That's a great bit.
But it's anytime he asks the kids what they want, it's just it's a laundry list. Yeah, it's Cokes and popcorn and nachos and hot dogs, and they want everything.
Me too.
Sometimes you got to treat yourself. And if David Montaigne's buying, if that's on the company card, you ball out.
That's it. Absolutely. We find out that the pitcher, who we've met just briefly, the pitcher is a lunatic. This is like your stereotypical. The pitcher is a crazy guy.
Oh yeah, it's played by Neil McDonough. It's only like two or three times he's ever a good guy. He's the bad guy in everything. I think like probably the biggest budget was Walking Tall. He was the bad guy in the Walking Tall remake with The Rock. But he's a handsome blonde guy with blue eyes, and they just made him the villain in like everything from 94 to like 2005.
He's got like a Val Kilmer thing going on, kind of.
Yeah, it's like classically handsome. It turns out he's like a legitimately good person too. So good for him.
And he's just a lunatic who's also a real goofball in this one.
But he's completely insane.
He's pitching back-to-backs, which is nuts. He pitches back-to-back games in this scene, which is just insane. Like, they are demolishing these guys' arms. Later on, we'll see that, and I don't want to forget the number. Later on, we'll see that Mel Clark throws 156 pitches in a game, which is just, I mean, I guess the 90s, but geez, oh man.
It doesn't say he ever stopped taking pain pills.
That's true. That's yeah. But Bass is pitching back to back. The game is, kind of going on, and Roger sees an angel with Hemmerling, Adrian Brody, and he says, "You got to pitch hit Hemmerling for Mitchell, who is the best player on the team by a country mile." And Knox says, I can't do that. That's crazy. I can't pinch hit my worst hitter for my best hitter. Like that's just asking for me to get canned here. I could never. Roger kind of hardballs him a little bit. He's like, "Listen, man, the Angels here. You guys suck anyway.
Right. And
what's going to happen?"
Hemmerling's getting his like a back rub, and Knox turns to look, because he wants to see if he can also see the Angels, and it's just Adrian Brody like doing this,
some shoulder shrug things. Two-time Oscar winner, ladies and gentlemen.
He's very funny in this movie.
He is. So he does pinch hit him, and Hemmerling goes out there, and the ball just stops about a foot in front of the plate. It just stops. And Hemmerling hits it on the ground.
It's a bad swing. Oh, it's an ugly swing.
Oh, my God. So bad.
Oh, my God.
But the Angel grabs it and is doing all kinds of this stuff. And the ball is just zipping all over the place.
Playing hippie shakes.
It's just...
And you see Al playing hacky sack, which I think might actually be Christopher Lloyd doing it. And, like, my man's pretty smooth with it.
That's awesome.
Because, like, there's, like, a master shot, and I'm pretty sure that's just him hacking it up.
That's sweet.
But it's like the ball's zipping around crazily.
There's about... They're counting the errors. There's about 17 or 18 errors on this play that they count up.
They shouldn't count as errors whenever the ball is literally zigzagging, and then everybody jumps on it, and then they all turn their gloves over, and it's gone. And then it just goes, it pulls one of these guys, boop, onto right on the bill of the cap of one of the infielders, and then everybody tackles that guy to comedic effect.
And this is also the scene where we really know that Ranch Wilder's a bad guy, because he's talking and he's doing one of these. trying to get somebody to put the number in his hand of how many errors it was, and he's just like
the poor statistician.
Yeah. Hemmerling gets an in the park home run. They win the game, and then Ranch delivers the line where it's a great line, but you also just know, like, oh, this guy, even though he's calling the games, he's an asshole, and he wants this team to lose. He says, "Is this a winning streak or just a few small blips on the screen of a terminally ill patient?" That's gnarly. That's gnarly.
The one thing that we didn't cover is, for whatever reason, David can't be around when there's an Angel. And I don't know why. Roger's like, you got to get him out of here. Like, you can't. I think it's because he talks to Al and he doesn't want him questioning while he's speaking to himself. So they keep trying to find excuses to get David out of there, and they can't think of anything. So they ask for coffee. And it's, oh, you want coffee? And JP hits him with, what do you think, we're little kids? Now give me a cup or I'll scream.
So how do you take it?
Like, narrows his eyes. In cups.
In cups? Yeah. JP is the cutest kid that's
scream.
He's the cutest kid that's literally ever existed. It's
it's not close. It's not close.
It's insane. And he just crushes it in this movie. The dynamic duo of Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Milton Davis Jr. in this are just, they're unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. So after this game, Knox is just bought all the way in. He's like, okay, I don't care if the Angels are real. Which, by the way, he's like not fully convinced that Angels are real. He's just like, at least these kids are here and we won. Brother.
That ball stopped.
We just defied the laws of physics. Like, this would be like a global, like, just absolutely society breaking stuff happening here. Like, the world would end if this happened in real life.
Because like the first two things that happen, like the Matthew McConaughey kind of gets carried, so the jump is artificially long, and then Trisket hits a homer, like literally knocks the cover off the ball, and hits like a deep center field home run. Those things can happen. It just looks like oh wow, he jumped really, really far. This is a ball stopping in midair and then zipping around and then like disappearing magically. There's a nut shot in one of them. That's always funny. Everybody likes
classic.
That.
Have to. Yeah,
you have to do that, especially in a Disney movie. Like it's 100%er. You're gonna get
this. Is literally like everyone has to question everything that they've ever known type of situation. And if
Isaac Newton saw this, he would go to the top of the stadium, just jump out.
Yeah, just cooked, just done. And George Knox is like, I don't know, dude. What?
There were like 26 errors on the play, and he was like,
ridiculous.
The ball's doing like whoop-de-doos and stuff, and then it just magically appears on the bill of like I think the pitcher's cap, and then he gets tackled by everybody in the infield.
Some of the logic in this movie is just not there. But Knox says, regardless, kids at all the games, they're here now every game. He's going to drive them home. We find out a little bit of a sad detail about JP's former life. He lived in a car with his mother, so he can't ride in cars anymore. He gets upset. He gets ill when that happens. No worries. George Knox takes him home on the team bus, pulls it up outside the foster home. We find out that Miguel has been adopted. JP is upset about that, even though Miguel is kind of a huge asshole.
Miguel's really, really mean to him. And it's like we only see Miguel for one scene. It's like dinner into like the kids getting ready for bed. But it's just him bullying JP. But such is JP's desire to be, part of a family.
Yeah. Miguel's gone now. And we know that Roger is still holding out hope on his dad. Now we're at the next game. And David is in a two-piece suit covering poncho situation.
Very funny.
Awesome.
Great. Hilarious. Great. He's still covered in stuff.
He has like a pants poncho thing. And then he also has the top as well. It's just so good.
Yeah,
so good.
it's like if you've ever like worn like a paper suit or anything, it's like basically one of those. But it's very funny, and he's already like covered in condiments again, but it's on the outside, so he's protected.
Roger sees an angel with Mel Clark, who is not even on the active roster.
He's
on
not
the
on the
IL.
roster.
And he says it doesn't matter. He has an angel with him. Put him in the game. So Knox goes over to him. And listen, I don't know. This is just something that I recognize because I was like looking at Tony Danza here, and I'm like, oh, he looks older here. He has like a salt and pepper beard. But I was looking at his haircut. He has maybe one of the worst haircuts I've ever seen here. His sideburns are like, they're like way, way different lengths here. It's like nobody even looked at it one time. It is nuts. It's crazy. But they listen to him, and they immediately take him off the IL and they put him in to start the game, which is nuts. But the Angels are helping him throw heaters. He's throwing heaters. And I don't remember exactly why I wrote this, but I just have a note here that says Ranch Wilder is the villain.
This is the less is more line. That's why, because he hits his broadcast partner. He keeps hitting the cough button, and he keeps shutting off the other broadcaster's mic so that he's the only one speaking. And he whacks him with a less is more. You know, give the people what they want, kind of thing. Like you sit there and be quiet and let me have the world's biggest chin and talk about baseball.
Bad guy.
Yes. And this is whenever he starts to get suspicious of Knox's motivations here.
So,
he's also a dick.
He's also a dick. In turn for this, Knox says, "I'll give you guys anything you want." And the kids just choose that he comes back to the foster home, the empty lot across the street, across the block, and play just a game of ball with the
little
kids.
Sandlot ball.
And there's a classic kid doesn't know the rules. He tells him to run home. Kid just runs to his house.
Marvin's a dog, though. Little Marvin, he introduced himself like his full. It's Marvin Vincent something. He introduced himself the whole time. Whole name. Have you ever played ball, Marvin? No. Okay.
Never played.
Well, here's how you hold the bat. He's like got the bat upside down and all that. He's like, when I tell you to swing, you swing. And he throws it underhand now, and then it like lets it dribble between his legs. Marvin makes it to first. And it hits him with a run home. And then Marvin, run home. And he just like runs out the outfield, then down the sidewalk.
This is just an absolute classic. We see the run home shenanigans in Sandlot. Classic. Mm-hmm. We see the gotta go play a game of stickball, Sandlot ball to rekindle your love of the game type of situation in Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a classic. And after this, Knox is like, I'm in it. I'm locked in.
We get a kinder, gentler George Knox.
And with his buy-in, now we have our team is good montage starting up here.
Do we ever, brother?
It's a great one.
We ever?
It is. We got Al on the keys on the organ.
Al's a little more hands-on now. And I tell you what, Christopher Lloyd, one of the all-timers, man, one of the GOATs. And if you are a Christopher Lloyd fan, this montage is for you.
Big time.
Because this is him just being wacky and like just cool with everything. You said just like banging on the keys, like killing it.
Crushing.
Like when he's sitting in the outfield drinking a drink with like a little parasol, little umbrella in there. He's got his big umbrella on his radio.
Just in the outfield, just amazing.
The center fielder has to like jump over him. He's like taking a nap. The center fielder jumps over, like lifts up the sunglasses, looks around, takes a sip, puts him back, goes back to his nap.
That shot is so cool because you like why would you ever see a shot from that angle? Like it's just super unique. Like it's from the ground up in the outfield. He's in a lawn chair, one of the kickbacks.
Chase lounge. Yeah,
it's awesome. It's just so good. That shot is super sick. But we have, it's kind of a cycle of team wins a game due to some divine intervention. It cuts to a newspaper of them winning, the standings going up, right? And we have a montage of the team making good plays themselves, the team making good plays with the help of the Angels. Like you had said before we talked off air, it shows the passage of time with the headlines and the standings. We know how many
we get to
games
see in real time the Angels like move up in the standings, and it has the record with it. So it's not just they're in last, then they're up to first. It's so it shows us kind of where we are in the season. The Angel or Roger told George Knox, damn it, to stop swearing so much, stop being so mean. You're like, the Angels don't like it, and they're not going to come around. And he gets into it with the umpire, and then kind of catches himself. And as he catches himself, like Al kind of pops up in the middle, and he's doing like the pantomime thing. So as Al is mouthing the words, Knox is speaking them. It's like, I can't believe you'd make such an astute and masterful call.
He says,
and it turns his head backwards, and then turns it back around.
He says, I can't believe you would make such an astute evaluation of a potentially difficult decision. So we have him literally like keeping Knox out of trouble, known getter into of trouble, keeping him out of trouble. We have Mesmer starting a slide like 2 steps past second base, but sliding head first all the way from second base to third base.
Yeah, we get a 50-foot slide.
We also have the Angels turning a triple play without the help of any Angels.
Yeah, Knox even kind of looks at Roger. He's like, Angels? And I was like, no, that was all you. The ball gets like stuck in the fingers of the glove.
So this is one of the best, like, the montage from Moneyball is really handled very well, I think. But like, this might be the next best one. It's either that or
it's really good.
It's that or Little Big League, I think.
For the next Big League. I like the Major League One, but I'll get it. Because Major League One, that team is good montage also gives us the MasterCard commercial.
That is
the American Express commercial.
That is true.
Restaurant type places.
And similar to the last movie, the team is good montage culminates in us finding out that there's going to be another big time game against the Chicago White Sox.
The hated Chicago White Sox.
Those hosers from up north. If they were any worse, they'd be from Canada. Now, I have a particular gripe with this next part. They have 2 chances to win 1 game against the White Sox is where we are ending up at right now. And a win against the White Sox wins the pennant for the Angels. Obviously, we have to add some conflict in here. We just finished up the team is good montage. Things can't just go well, obviously. There has to be a little bit of conflict added in.
We've also never seen the White Sox in the movie yet.
Nope. We've seen the Blue Jays. We've seen the Tigers, but we have not seen
the Athletics. I think the Athletics are the hacky sack montage. I'm pretty sure it's the A's.
But we have not seen the White Sox.
No.
We have to fabricate some conflict here. And what happens is that this hearing that Roger's dad told him about in the very beginning of the movie, when he's signing his rights over completely to make him a ward of the state, that hearing is on the day of the first chance they get to beat the White Sox. And Roger has to go. Here's my gripe with this scene, right? So he goes to the hearing that's scheduled to be in the morning, 11 o'clock or something. The game starts at 3 or whatever. He goes and he sits there with Maggie, and they sit there all day, hours and hours and hours. And it cuts to the dad in the courtroom saying, yeah, I signed my papers. I know what's going on. I don't want my son anymore. Hand him over, take him. And then they just let Roger in the courtroom for like 1 second. And the dad's like, I don't want to be your dad anymore. See you later. And then the hearing's over. That would never happen like that ever. That doesn't make any sense at all.
I've never been to family court, but I feel like that's not a thing.
They're like, yeah, we need to just let your dad abuse you one last time and tell you he doesn't want you anymore. That's all. That's the only reason you need to be here. It just doesn't make any sense. It just that I understand if you're laying out, the timeline of the movie that you want to introduce some conflict at the end, but like make it be more believable than this.
Yeah.
Make a courtroom scene. Have it be a thing.
Yeah, Roger very, very clearly could have been in there while his dad was just talking about how I don't want my kid. Because he tells him that.
And
but he doesn't really mince words. He was like, not gonna be your dad anymore. Later, dork. I'm gonna go spend all my lawyer money, which he did not have an attorney. He's like, I'm gonna go spend all that money I saved on hair products, gas up the old Harley, and rip up the coast.
That scene just is like, why would they even need him to be there? The Angels lost that game, obviously, because now it's all going to come down to one game. But after that game, JP is sitting there. JP went to the game. JP cannot see the Angels again, remember.
And he kind of blames himself for not seeing the Angels. It's like he's really wearing this one. He blames himself for the loss, and it's because he couldn't see the Angels. And the whole time he's like kind of, there's not an empty seat in the house. And Roger's seat's empty, and he's just kind of like lazily playing with the folding seat back. And like it's JP's really wearing this. Like, emotions are right. He's crying at this point.
He's crying that they lost. He blames himself. He is in an emotionally vulnerable state. And he is then approached by Ranch Wilder because Ranch knows a little something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked JP about the Angels, not the team, like the actual Angels. And he tells him pretty much everything. There is this huge kind of expose after that. An article comes out about how George Knox is crazy. And, while this is going on, kind of Knox goes back to the foster home after this is before the article comes out, actually goes back to the foster home to ask Roger how it is. We find out that George had a deadbeat dad as well.
Yeah.
And we do get a line, there's no God up there, which is crazy to say.
From Roger, who is
Roger
friends with angels. He's on a first name basis with multiple angels at this point.
The kid who prayed for divine intervention and
got it
is like, there's no God. Crazy. The next day that article comes out.
But it's Knox even gets on his case for that. This is Knox kind of coming full circle. And he says, you can't go through life thinking that everyone will let you down. And he said, what is it? Oh, something bad will happen and you'll end up like me. And that's a big moment for a kid's movie. Like, this is a movie for children. Like, let's not mince words here. But between that and watching a child become the ward of a state because the father just doesn't want anything to do with it, those are two very heavy moments.
The last quarter of this movie is extremely emotionally heavy. Like, if you take out the whimsy from the baseball stuff,
we get Trisket Mesmer gets a slap on the rear end and slides 50 feet into third to be safe. And then it's, hey kid, I don't want to be your dad anymore. 90 seconds later.
It's nuts. But Knox goes in, he has a real kind of heart to heart with the kids. And you're feeling good about things at that point. The next morning, the article comes out. They're reading the paper at the breakfast table in the foster home. And JP is actively upset. because Roger's like, this is not good. Knox is going to get in trouble. We won't, but like, this is really bad.
And it's like per sources. And he's like, well, whose sources? And they're trying to figure out how the author, which I would assume is Ranch Wilder, I don't think we get a byline on it, would write this expose. Yeah. And then, JP starts to realize that he was the one that did it.
And he's having a tough time. Knox gets called in to talk to the owner, and the owner says, listen, man, we're going to get your ass for this. Like, you got 24 hours to say that all this is made up and you're denouncing the Angels, or we're firing you. Brother.
Which is a wild thing. Like, if you look at Murphy, that it's Ben Johnson is the actor who plays him. He was in half the John Wayne movies. He was in the Wild Bunch. I know we talked about the Wild Bunch on this podcast before. I think that was it was Crash Davis was based on one of the characters in the Wild Bunch. He's always got his cowboy hat on. He's got his thick accent. He's a very Texan. He's like an oil gas kind of guy vibe you're getting. If anybody you think is going to believe that God is helping out his team, you would think it's that guy.
Yeah, bro, this dude loves Jesus. There's no way, dude.
Yeah, like you would think that guy would be like, hell yeah, we've got an Angel team now. I would, I'd market the hell out of that, man.
They also just won every game.
Yeah,
they just had like the greatest winning streak in the history of baseball.
I do have the official record for it. It's very, very funny.
Let's go.
We'll do that in the trivia section. Okay. I'll give you something to wait on because season's not over yet.
That's true.
So not over yet.
We have a winning streak where things that are defying the laws of physics and are unexplainable to the puny human brain have happened every single game. And everyone except for Roger is like, and George and JP are like, obviously it could never be Angels. Brother.
Yeah, it could be anything but Angels.
This would be ripping apart the fabric of society if this happened. People would not be able to live. And they're like, we're firing you if you don't denounce these Angels, which sets up.
Bro, dude, you were in Rio Bravo. You got to settle down.
This sets up one of the best scenes ever. Number one, we have George Knox digging through all of his old memorabilia. He was the best player ever until Ranch Wilder came up, spikes up, hit him in the knee, busted his knee all up, ruined his career. Brutal. Ranch Wilder, bad guy.
Bad guy.
He has an award from Kennesaw Mountain Landis, former commissioner of the MLB, also former federal court judge. Crazy
and former crossover. Bad guy.
Well, if you're a federal court judge, you know.
But yeah, that was the MVP.
Now we get to the press conference. Just a beautiful scene, lovely scene. Knox does not denounce the Angels, and he kind of sidesteps it a little bit. He goes, I don't really know what's going on here. I'm not going to say it is Angels. I'm not going to say it's not Angels. I just know we've been playing some good ass baseball, and who couldn't use a little extra help?
And I think that's the right way to handle that.
I agree.
I do think like Murphy's idea of, hey, go out and say this kid's stupid. I think that is absolutely the wrong way to handle that. For a number of reasons.
Especially because they're both there. JP and Roger are there.
It's them walking in is why he decides to shoot from the hip instead of reading what I would assume is a prepared statement.
And Maggie drops just some absolute bars right here.
Brenda Fricker is a phenomenal actress. I mean, everybody that's watching this knows her as being the lady from Home Alone 2, the Dove lady. But if you watch some of the other movies she's in, I think she's in, it's another McConaughey movie. I think it's A Time to Kill. Insane. Like
Well,
she is so good, and
she
she gets
also
the
won an Oscar for My Left Foot
yeah.
with Daniel Day-Lewis. I think
Mhm.
that was maybe the first time ever that the two lead actors in a movie won best male lead, best female lead. I think so.
That's
Uh,
that's a really good piece of trivia there. I didn't know that.
yeah, I forgot I was going to mention that in the
I knew
beginning.
Lewis won for that, but no, that's really impressive.
Yeah, she's legit, and she is not given very much to work with in this particular movie,
Well, it's
but
you just know she's a no bullshit old Irish lady who just like wants the best for these children. She gets like a couple little zingers, like when Miguel is saying she's not feeding you Jello, that's cat brains with food coloring. And Maggie turns around, she goes, "You know, I'd never put food coloring in my cat brains," and then gives them all Jello.
yeah, she's given one really hearty piece of acting here, and she just crushes.
It's
Just
like
crushes.
she had an angel helping her with that bat.
100%. She steps up. It's in the middle of the press conference, and George Knox just says, his piece. Maggie stands up, and they ask her who she is, and she says, "My name is Maggie Nelson. I take care of the foster kids. One of these boys is a child who can see angels. He could stand up right now and tell you what's going on, and I know you just laugh at him. But when a professional football player drops to one knee to thank God for making a touchdown, nobody laughs at that. Or when a pitcher crosses himself before going to the mound, nobody laughs at that either. It's like you're saying it's okay to believe in God, but it's not okay to believe in angels." I thought they were on the same team. I mean, you'd think that would be the mic drop moment, and it is.
Yeah.
And then she follows it up with another heater.
But wait.
The owner says, "Is it your belief, ma'am, that the Angels play baseball?" And she goes, "Since the All-Star break? Yes." Oh my God.
Dogged it. And even like gets a great laugh. There's a crowd pop.
Oh my dude. Talk about a scene stealer.
Yeah.
Crushes. Absolutely crushes. She says we all have to have faith. We all need to have something to believe in. I mean, this is like a standing ovation type of situation. Everybody is pumped. All the players get up and say, "We would never want to play for anybody besides George Knox." I mean, this is like the whole group getting on the same page.
Even Mel Clark. Mel Clark's the first one to stand up with, we already know that their situation was tense. Their relationship wasn't good because he was like, "Dude, you got me addicted to painkillers." And he was like, "Yeah, that's why I traded you."
And he's the first guy to stand up.
Yeah.
So we're all on the same team now. We are all on the same team. So we are setting up a feel-good moment for the final game of the season. The kids are in the dugout now. They're bought in so much. They got them custom Angels jerseys, and they're sitting in the dugout. That's how much they're bought in. They went from "you're getting fired if you don't say this is fake" to the kids are in the dugout.
Yeah, they're now on the payroll. JP is now the head of like player development.
He really is. So we're waiting for Angels in the last game. Waiting for Angels. Mitchell who's the best player, is just balling. He makes a great diving play, gets a force at third. He hits a nuke to tie the game.
The Sox jumped on him early. Mel Clark was scuffling, and he gets his like tension building and stuff. And if you look in the background, Bass, Neil McDonough, the strange pitcher, he's a big gum chewer guy. His wind up's real funny. He just keeps setting with the glove, like
setting lower.
Very funny. He's building Lego in the back. He's like making it's like building like a Lego car.
He has a Lego like a front end loader.
Yeah, if you look, he's just building them in the background. And as the game goes on, it's like more done.
And at the end, he's like spinning the wheels around. It's a good bit. It's a good bit. Mitchell hits a nuke to tie the game.
It's 8 pounds of shit out of that ball.
Yeah, I think it's 2-2 at that point. And
so the power of friendship is stronger than divine intervention at this point.
No Angels yet.
Mm-mm.
And then Al shows up And boy, oh boy, is Roger relieved. But he shouldn't.
Al's in the dugout.
He shouldn't be relieved because Al's like, by the way, you remember that
this is completely insane.
This whole scene is just nuts. Al, he pops up on the bench next to Roger. Al says, by the way, remember when I told you all of the rules before? I actually didn't tell you all the rules. The final rule that I forgot to tell you was that championships need to be won on their own. We're not going to help you guys at all here. And then Roger says, well, then why are you here?
Yeah, then why are you wasting my time, bro? And there is a reason why he's there.
He goes,
boy, is there a reason?
He goes, oh, why am I here now in the biggest game of the season where you guys need the help? The final game of the year to win the pennant against the White Sox? It's because Mel Clark's going to die from lung cancer in 6 months. We're just like looking over him until he dies.
I came to check on Mel because he's coming up about 6 months.
Smoked his whole life.
And then it just cuts to Tony Danza, who's visibly unwell.
He's like,
he's just all sweaty and coughing and like gone.
He coughs one time in the movie before this, and then it just cuts to him after Al's like, oh, I'm here to be the Grim Reaper. And then it just cuts to Mel Clark, and he's just like, looks like he's had lung cancer more than anyone's ever had it. It's crazy.
And he's like, it gives like sad eyes. Holy hell.
I just don't
about
understand.
6 months left. My man's not even going to make it to spring training. Like, what do we do?
I don't get why that needed to happen.
Why did you have to do it right there?
That part makes...
Why'd you tell... Why is the only person you're going to tell a child?
By the way, that guy that overcame
he's going to be coming up soon.
The guy that overcame addiction and was like going to win comeback player of the year. Yeah, he's dead in 6 months, by the way.
This guy's toast. Also, we're going to let that happen.
Just nuts.
What if he hacky sacked the cancer out of Mel Clark's lungs?
Oh, I'm leaving that in, Chris.
You could have done that.
I'm leaving that in.
And you stood idly by.
Two things that Angels don't care about: winning championships and saving people from lung cancer, apparently. Nuts. So the Angels take the lead.
The championships are one of your own. Why do you say that? He's like, my man's exposition is whack. You gotta lay this out for him, man.
That's the real hidden ball trick, bro. They hit the ball from Roger and from Mel Clark.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, so now we find out the boys are on their own here. And by bottom eight, Angels take the lead 3-2. Now we're top 9. Last inning of the game if the Angels can hold the White Sox scoreless. Cuts to Mel Clark. Dude looks like he's got 6 hours.
Looking rough.
Dude, he looks like he's got 6 hours left. I mean, it is ridiculous. There's a sack bunt, moves a runner over to second.
It's good. So good ball.
It is good ball. There's one out, runner on second. There's a single. They hold the runner at second, so 1 out, runners on first and second now.
Huge play in left field.
Huge play in left field after this. Or no, center field? Left field? Ben Williams makes a catch, and the runners move over.
Okay, but he is a center fielder. That's right.
So there's 2 outs now, runners on second and third. There's an infield hit that leads to they hold the runners, but the guy gets to first. Bases loaded now, 2 outs. Or no. He hits the player. That's what it is. And loads the bases. So now,
punts him. That's right.
Bases loaded, 2 outs.
And now we get a new villain.
Dude, this guy is so
out of nowhere.
Hit or Die Kesey is his nickname.
Hit Kesey. Hit or die. Kesey. And he has a tattoo that says hit or die.
He has a tattoo of a snake. It says hit or die in a banner. You know he's a terribly awful guy because he has a tattoo. He also has a facial scar, so he's a bad guy as well. And he's
spitting tobacco.
A lot of tobacco. And that's your 3 strikes. Just like we had Harley, cigarettes, and leather jacket, we have tattoo, facial scar, spitting tobacco. Bad guy.
They're giving it to us in 3s just so that they know.
There's a lot of ways to be a bad guy. And
it's the rule of 3 for bad guys.
Yeah, that's it. We find out that as of the time that hit or die Kesey, who is the league leader in RBIs, by the time he gets up, Mel Clark has thrown 156 pitches. That's a lot of pitches for a guy with lung cancer.
That's a lot of pitches for a dead man.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's thrown every bit of those 156.
He works the count to 3-2. The 2 strikes were foul balls. And there's a discussion between Knox and Roger. Roger says, listen, man, the Angels aren't coming. And there's a little bit of a light bulb that goes off with Knox and a little bit of a light bulb that goes off with Roger. And he goes out to visit Knox on the mound. It's going to give him a bit of a pep talk here. And as he's walking out, you know, we didn't talk about this earlier, but there's a signal that Roger would give to Knox when the Angels are there, which is like a wing flap type of situation, which is, it's just hilarious looking. Like arms straight out like a T, flapping like a bird.
Yeah.
So Knox is out there, mound visit, talking to Clark. Roger steps out of the dugout onto the field. Child, by the way, in the dugout. Starts doing that. JP steps out, starts doing it. The team starts doing it.
So there's a meeting on the mound. So Knox is on the mound before Roger comes out to tell him, like, hey, buddy, you got an angel with you. But whenever he goes out, Ranch Wilder is like, oh, and Henry Knox goes out to get Mel Clark, and it's about time. Dude, he's thrown 1 million pitches and he's winning. 1 million pitches, a 2-run ball against the league leading Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's about time?
And
there's what? It's a full count. There's 1 strike left.
1 pitch left in the game.
What do you mean it's about time? You're winning.
a nice touch in that part is when he says that, the owner who is listening to the call on the radio just turns off Ranch. Turns him off.
Oh, yeah. He's just about had it with that naysayer.
So the whole stadium is flapping their angel wings.
When Roger comes out and starts flapping, then the team behind him, and it's like the way it kind of, because there's a ton of extras in this scene. It kind of blooms out like the wave, and it's the score is building. It's awesome.
It is pretty good.
Like, it is so cool.
I am slightly skeptical. I think for like 3/4 of the footage that they used for this scene, I'm fairly certain that they just got footage of a wave from a baseball game. Because the way that it's cut, a lot of the stuff that they show is like just the beginning part when they're putting their arms up. They do cut to other scenes where people are like arms out flapping.
Everybody flapping is a pretty sweet thing, but like watching everybody just kind of stand, and like I said, it just blooms out like a flower. It is just it's a cool moment. And it's like with the building score, we get everything together, and now it's like, oh my God, everybody can see the Angels. There's no way I'm going to screw this up. I'm Mel Clark. I'm going to live forever.
Mel Clark is not going to live forever, unfortunately.
No,
what he will live for is 1 more pitch. He will live for 1 more pitch.
Maybe, hopefully.
That's true.
He's looking rough.
And it seems like maybe he won't, because he throws that last pitch and it results in a comebacker from hit or die Kesey. And it seems like he's maybe taking the die option. But in fact, Mel Clark dives and he catches the comebacker after a little bit of a bobble situation. Catches the comebacker.
Athlete.
Tony Danza is an athlete, you know?
Correct. Yeah.
You couldn't tell from the way he throws a baseball, though. I'll tell you that much. And they win the pennant. Everybody's celebrating. The owner opens the door to the booth and says, "Hey, Ranch, you're fired, buddy."
Ranch, and he just turned around this big smile, and "You're fired," and close the door, and then it's just cuts back, and he's freaking out.
And the partner,
"I have a contract. I'm Ranch Wilder."
Very good.
Beat a geek. Take a hike.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's celebrating.
His broadcast partner turns his mic off and hits him with a "less is more" Ranch. Like, oh, a double whammy. Puts him in his place.
Chef's kiss moment. And do we have an abrupt ending after they win the pennant like every other movie? No, we don't, Chris.
We don't. We get an emotional denouement.
God, the ending of this movie is great. It's so much better than it just ending after they win the pennant, because who cares about that? What we really want to care about is these parentless children.
They're still in their uniforms.
They get home. Maggie is there. She was listening to the game. She's happy for the kids. She tells Roger that he got a call and somebody wants to adopt him. And he's very happy. Roger is. JP, very sad because his best bud, his brother from another, is getting adopted. And Knox brought them home. Knox is sitting there in the chair, and he tells Roger, "Hey, that call you got, that was me. I'm going to adopt you. I'm going to be your new dad."
And even asked him, like, if that's something you want. And it's, he's even at like, "Hey, if you're cool with this, I'm cool with this."
And he's very cool with it. And
and he's like, "I want to," what do you say? Like, to take care of you and to love you and all this. And it's a very strong emotional bond.
Extremely. And then he takes a step back because Roger has been described by Maggie as being very grounded and very based in reality and wise beyond his years. And he says, "I actually can't, because I could never let JP be alone." And Knox is no fool. He says, "Of course. That's why I'm adopting JP as well." Lovely. Beautiful.
Right. The band's back together.
It's lovely. They all run up to Knox. They embrace. We get a nice hug. And at the end,
well, I do like, they're like, "Well, what about Maggie?" Maggie's like, "What do you mean? Like, you can't adopt me. I'm 60 years old. Like, what are we doing?"
She's like, "I got work here to do. You think you guys are the only kids without parents around here?"
Like, what do you think? You kids are crazy right now. I got a phone. It's fine. We'll hang out.
And then finally, at the end of the movie, JP sees Al. This is just a lovely end to the movie. It's so good. Normally, we get an abrupt, they won the baseball game and that's all that matters kind of thing. This is great. They win the game. No divine intervention, power of friendship style. Knox or Ranch gets fired. We hate him.
In a really embarrassing fashion, too.
Embarrassing fashion. Roger and JP both get adopted by Knox, who himself has had his tremendous redemption arc. And JP finally gets to see Angels as well. I mean, this is a win-win-win-win-win.
And it kind of looks like Knox might also.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't say it, but like everybody's looking out the window and like the boys are waving and like everybody's like smiling and laughing to Al, who's smiling and waving and laughing back. And I think that George Knox can also see him, which is nice. Yeah. So Al has finally revealed himself. Now the season's not over yet.
Yeah, it's just coming up massive dubs for everybody across the board.
Oh, yeah.
Massive dubs for everybody across the board. And then the movie does end. But you are correct.
We do get to see Al, because every time you see Al, he's a dude. He's just like wearing jeans and a t-shirt. But now we get to see Al as an angel. Al's got his wings, which is kind of a cool moment. He describes himself as the boss angel.
Yeah, he's the Tony Danza of angels. He's the boss.
Who's the boss? Turns out it's Simon's Al. Tony
It's
Danza,
Al.
that was the last time.
And the boss gave him the pink slip. 6 months, brother. That's it.
What are you doing, man?
I don't understand why that part is in the movie. But you know what? That's fine. I don't have to understand everything.
It's because this was a big push for the non-smoking ads. And that's actually why this is. I'm not kidding. Yeah, he smoked for a long time, and now he's going to heaven. Even worse, it was like, and now he's going to hell.
When I saw
they got angels there, but they're bad guys.
When I saw that part, I was thinking about just the scene from Major League 2 when he's like, Lou said we might as well give him a little taste of heaven just in case he's not headed there. Just a classic. I can't get that one out of my head. It's so good.
Don't give him one of those win one for Lou speech moments. It may be the funniest moment in any Major League movie.
It's very good. So let's get on to some stuff here, some trivia, some quotes, some all that. But let's get a word from our sponsors here first.
We'd like to thank our sponsor for today's episode. Today's sponsor is, hey man, lighten up. From the makers of Mind Your Own Business, man, comes, hey, lighten up. You see some kids having fun at a game? Stay in your lane. If people are talking about their faith in angels, God, what have you, just let them have it, man. Hey, lighten up. It's none of your business. I'd like to thank Hey Lighten Up for sponsoring our episode. Ranch Wilder could have used some of your product. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, so Hey Lighten Up did drop this was mostly a flop, but it did get a little bit of use. The Drop Dead, and I think that Ranch could have used a Drop Dead, personally.
He does get socked right in the kisser.
Yeah, he did.
Back when he had beef with Cincinnati.
George Knox.
This isn't Cincinnati is such an amazing line.
It's great.
Because nobody's ever said, hey, this isn't Cincinnati about anything good since the inception of Cincinnati, which I would assume, 200 plus years ago.
I don't have enough bad things to say about Cincinnati.
Beer's good. We got good beer there. Food seems pretty good. But other than that, it is in Ohio, and it's also very close to Kentucky. Those are two very bad things.
Yeah. And I you know what? I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to go on a diatribe about Cincinnati, but
not after you get all those death threats from people that lived in Buffalo.
They're barely people. Don't worry. I don't have. We'll get into some trivia here, but I did want to reiterate some of the stuff that I was talking about earlier. The cast here is insane. I mean,
there are so many Academy Award winners or Emmy winners.
Of all of the 4 major awards, Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, and Tonys, nearly everybody in this cast has been either nominated for or has won one of those. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Danny Glover, Brenda Fricker, Christopher Lloyd, Tony Danza, Matthew McConaughey, Adrian Brody. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Adrian Brody has one of the smallest parts in the film, and he has more Academy Awards than anybody else.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Also, his Academy Awards were over 2 decades apart, which is good for him. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just so nuts. Like everyone in this movie had, just young Joseph Gordon-Levitt, young Adrian Brody, young Matthew McConaughey all went on to have crazy careers. Danny Glover was, kind of in his prime or maybe just a little bit past it, but a great career. Brenda Fricker.
And this is the first family movie that he did.
Yeah.
Because he did the Lethal Weapon franchise. He did a lot of action films. He wanted a movie that he could watch with his children. And that's why he agreed to do Angels in the Outfield. He was not the first choice for this role, but he did jump on it, and they said he was the most enthusiastic. The first choice for originally, like when in the inception of the movie for Knox's character was Bob Hoskins from Who Framed Roger Rabbit fame as Eddie Valiant. But he's 5'4", and they're like, he's just too short. Like it's not going to work.
Who is he? Tom Cruise?
It's Bob Hoskins just jumping airplane to airplane without a rope or anything. But yeah, Danny Glover wanted to do it, and they thought, like, Danny Glover did play some ball. And he's also 6'4". Danny Glover's huge. Like, I did not know Danny Glover was that big, but he looks like a ball player. He carries himself like a manager. Like it works. And it's this like big imposing man. It lends a little more gravitas to the
just
scene.
throwing 2-piece combos at everybody.
Right. Just like it would have been funny to watch Bob Hoskins like jumping up to hit somebody in the mouth. And Betty White and Angela Lansbury were originally offered the role as Maggie.
Interesting.
I'm glad Brenda Fricker got it because she's dynamite. I love a no nonsense like old Irish broad. Like nobody plays that as well as she does. Nobody, and nobody ever has.
The best scene in the movie, in my opinion, is when she's in the press conference, and there's a lot of good scenes in this movie, but like she just balls out. So I mean, I literally paused the movie to text you when that scene happened. I'm like,
it's awesome. Like it's excellent. Where she stands up and she was like, "What the hell's the big deal?" Which is right. Yeah. It's these kids think they can see angels. Okay, cool. Let them.
Which again, let me reiterate here. Every game, players are down on one knee praying, right? Every game, you see a guy, crossing himself up. We had to listen to Fernando Mendoza weep and talk about Jesus Christ. Good for him. Obviously, Jesus Christ loved Indiana football.
Hey, somebody did. Because look at that, going undefeated with quarterbacks 5'9". Like, yeah.
What is he, Tom Cruise? And we had a 2-month stretch of baseball where things that were literally defying the laws of physics were happening every single game. And people are like, kill these heretics, fire the manager. And she's like, is everyone losing their goddamn minds here? What is going on?
I didn't realize you guys stocked up on stupid pills instead of getting yourself a bottle of Hey Lighten Up, man.
Thanks for Hey Lighten Up for sponsoring this again. I mean, we need to really reframe this whole thing here. I mean,
the whole press conference is clearly sponsored by Hey Lighten Up, man. Even Knox is like, well, I had a prepared statement, but I'm going to go from the hip. And it was like, I don't know, man. We're playing really good ball right now. Like, what do you want me to do about it? Yes, that's correct. That is how you handle that situation.
Yeah.
Like he can't see the angels, so he can't like denounce or anything. Like it's evidence of absence is not absence of evidence. But it's
say it louder. Say it louder.
But yeah, just like the press conference scene is great, where it's everybody. It's like, what's this hurting? Like, okay, so these kids, it gives somebody something to believe in. That's always good.
Always. What was the record after because the press conference happens right after the montage. So
when it starts at the All-Star break, they are 39-52, which is better than you would think.
Yeah.
For as lousy as they were.
They were like, there's 3 fans here.
And at the end of the season, the record shows 91-64. Down the stretch, they went 52-12. You want to talk about a heater?
Jeez, oh man!
You want to talk about a heater? 52-12
with 2 pitchers, no less.
Yeah, apparently they just carried 2 pitchers on the roster. Well, there was a third guy, but he kept getting pulled for Mel Clark. They had to cut somebody. They had to release somebody if they activated him to the active roster. Like, you need a roster spot.
Yeah, we only ever see 3 pitchers in the whole movie. The guy that fights George Knox in the very beginning, and then Bass and Clark, and that's it. Right. Just wild.
Bass knocks himself out multiple times in this movie.
Yeah, he's just a wacky, zany dude.
What else? I had 2 more funny. Tommy Lee Jones was supposed to be Murphy, the manager. He was offered that, or the owner, he turned that one down.
I could see that.
And Al was written with Leslie Nielsen in mind.
I could also see that.
I could see that, but he did turn down the role so that he could make The Naked Gun 33 1/3, which seems like the wrong choice. That is not a good movie. As somebody who unapologetically loves Naked Gun, the first Naked Gun is one of my favorite comedies ever. Boy, the third one sure does suck.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight, sure, but at the end of the day, Christopher Lloyd, I think, lends a little bit more seriousness to the role, even though he's also wacky goofy in this a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's like he has a little more, like when he's serious, it's a little more believable because Leslie Nielsen's always serious. You know, like in any movie you've ever seen him, he's not really making jokes. It's one plane. Like his humor is that he's not telling a joke. Everything's very serious. That's why he's incredibly funny. Like him and Lloyd Bridges they're the two best people at that maybe ever.
Agreed.
Filmed on location at the Oakland Coliseum. They did not film it in Anaheim because that was a mixed-use stadium, and they couldn't do it during football season. So they did shoot this at the Coliseum, which is also a mixed use, but the Raiders weren't there. Disney did eventually end up buying the Angels. They owned the Angels from 96 to 03.
How did I not know this?
Yeah. They were like principal stakeholders in the Angels. It's weird you would make a movie and then buy them later. The Angels did win the World Series in 02. They were still Disney there. Walt Disney was, I think, on the board in the inception of the California. They were initially the California Angels. Now they're the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah, which we talked about this a little bit before the pod as well. The branding in this movie is awesome. The Angels.
This is about as good as it gets in that Angels era.
And all of the branding before the Angels' current branding is awesome. They had, a logo with a lowercase a with a halo over it. Amazing. Those hats are amazing. They entered the baby blue era, the capital A with the wings on it. They had the baby blue, unbelievably good. They had the hat that we talked about from Sandlot, where it actually has the halo on top of the hat.
One of the all-time great baseball hats.
Unbelievably good. They have, in this movie, they have the CA with the halo around the A. Super good. The branding now is just so boring. It's just dull. It's just an A. We got to get back. We got to get back to something here.
Right. I don't know what's worse, the mishandling of Shohei Ohtani's free agency, wasting Mike Trout's basically entire career, or ruining those dope ass CA hats with a halo over the A.
It might have been giving 90-year-old Albert Pujols $100 gajillion billion.
Or Anthony Rendon $1 gazillion. He played 4 games for them.
You know what? I'm going to give a shout out here because I got my boy Bill. My boy Bill has been a Angels fan for as long as I can remember.
I respect Angels fans. I respect a deep respect for Angels fans.
Potentially the only more tortured existence than that could possibly be.
Correct. Your life is just
the Pittsburgh Pirates, right? One and the same. We got an AL and an NL. I just mass respect to my boy Bill for being an Angels fan for his whole life. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's Bill. I never met you, man, but you're a buddy of mine. I'll buy you a beer.
You did meet Bill. You did meet Bill.
I did meet Bill. My boy. That's right. I didn't realize he was an Angels fan.
He saw you in street clothes. He said, "Wait, you're the Pirate."
He was the only one that noticed me.
That's right. Shout out, Bill. See you soon, brother.
Then we got what else we got? I just got like two more quick ones. William Deere, writer, director, got his big break was Harry and the Hendersons. Great, timeless. If you like movies about a family kind of hanging out with Sasquatch, watch Harry and the Hendersons. It's not his first foray into Disney. He was a writer on The Rocketeer.
Oh,
absolutely phenomenal movie. If you like pulp action movies, definitely watch The Rocketeer if you haven't. And he does later, and this is many years later. This is actually in 2007. I didn't know it was that long. Gets to direct a Sandlot spinoff. Sandlot, Heading Home, straight to DVD, 2007. And the one thing, because we already talked about how this movie has multiple Academy Award winners, not just Emmys and everything else, with Brody McConaughey and Fricker. This movie does also star two people who have killed a predator. So Danny Glover in Predator 2 kills a predator, and Adrian Brody in Predators takes down a predator at the end of that movie.
Wow. That is...
Yes. So two Predator franchise and two survivors of the Predator franchise.
A lot of thoughts here. I'm just gonna, any joke I would make, we'd be cutting out anyway. So we're just gonna let that one fly.
We gave way too much trouble for that.
We're gonna let that one fly. Or let that one just be an inside thought there. Yeah, the cast here is just absolutely nuts, right?
Stacked.
It's crazy. Like maybe the most hardware of any movie. I mean, outside of something that has like a ludicrous cast, like a one of the loaded up Tarantinos or like Departed or something. Like outside of that, this is...
There's also something that I did neglect to mention, and I didn't write it down. It never crossed my mind until now. This movie premiered in Pittsburgh. The official premiere of this movie was at Three River Stadium in 1994.
That's amazing.
They debuted in Pittsburgh because it had the roots, because the original was shot at Forbes Field. This movie debuted in Pittsburgh, and I remember I was there. I went with my family. I think at the time it was the largest film premiere ever. And it wasn't like on the Jumbotron. They had massive screens set up in like a triangle in the infield. And they were huge, man. These screens had to be like 4 or 5 stories tall. And I think they sold like 40,000 tickets. But yeah, we got to go to the premiere for that. A bunch of people from Pittsburgh did. So there were like 35, 40,000 people. But like JP was there, Danny Glover was there. I don't think Joseph Gordon-Levitt was, but like it was the actual film premiere. They had the stars.
Awesome.
And it was in Pittsburgh. And that completely blanked on me until right now. But I went to that. It was super cool.
A lot of just good stuff about this movie. This one was...
It's a Disney movie, man. It's a Disney movie. They tug at the heartstrings. This
one was just so much better than I had remembered. It also, and I'll just run through some of these quick. The quote game was on fire. There's this thing called talent. They don't have it. This isn't Cincinnati, George. Nobody expects you to win. Press are all scum. They're meant to be kept waiting. Awesome. Drop dead. I got sunscreen in my eyes. Adrian Brody's like, this is really emotionally evocative song.
Emotionally evocative.
Drop dead. He goes, you used to be Mel Clark. Great. A psycho kid. You'd think they'd screen these people. That's amazing. A winning streak or small blips on on the screen of a terminally ill patient. Such an astute evaluation of a potentially difficult decision. Great one. There's no God up there. After all the things that are very much
a child denounce their faith was just brutal.
He says that because
his dad tells him he doesn't want him anymore.
Just so gnarly.
Awful, man. Awful. That scene is brutal.
It really is.
With Roger crying with Maggie in the courthouse because he doesn't have anybody else. And that scene it's tough, man. It's tough.
It's a gnarly one. Let's get on to some ratings here. Let's talk about the baseball ratings. We didn't really talk about the baseball at all here. I think for 2 reasons. Number one, like the Angels are all interfering with the baseball. There's not a lot of regular baseball here.
We get a lot of Angel heavy baseball.
However, the baseball happening when it is not being aided by Angels, it's not very good. The swings are bad. Like Mesmer's swing is atrociously bad.
I think it's because he's impeded from an athletic standpoint. He's a hefty fellow.
He's a big. If they said this
Tony
guy,
Longo's a big boy.
If they said this guy's got 6 months to live, I'd be like, that's generous.
Yeah, no, that sounds right. That tracks.
Yeah. You know, Tony Danza's pitching is not very good either. Some of the field.
It also won't shock you to know that Tony Longo did die young.
I mean, it's just he looked unhealthy. Some of the fielding
cause of death is listed as congestive heart failure.
Yeah, I'm not a betting man, but
he's also huge. He's 6'6". Like, that dude's massive.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Mitchell at third base, that fielding is pretty believable. He does seem very athletic.
Yeah.
McConaughey in center seems pretty athletic in this. And
do we see McConaughey swing a bat?
I don't believe so. Just in the field.
Yeah.
It's not great. I'm gonna go just because of when they do play real baseball, it's quite bad. I'm gonna have to go. Some of it's okay. The Angels are involved. I'm gonna go just a flat 60 out of 100 suit ponchos.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of baseball. We see like a handful of swings that just aren't pretty. It's difficult to gauge this. I mean, like we get to see Kit Kesey, old hit or die. He's an actual baseball player. I can't remember who he was. He wasn't a big hitter, but like he looks like a baseball player. He swings the bat like a baseball player would. Whoever it was, I don't remember the character's name, plays first base for the Angels. Again, an ex-ball player. So like there are guys that do look like actual baseball players in this. We see very little of them because the rest are Angels helping out in like slapsticky ways for the most part until they decide not to help out. And they kind of missed that memo. I mean, I'm gonna go right down the middle. I'm just gonna give it a 5. A 5 out of 10 nacho butts.
Yeah, hell yeah. I know we were both on the David wavelength at some point.
Because David's great, man.
Also, many good bits
about him. I didn't mention, but like whenever everybody's standing up doing the wing flapping at the end, whenever David buys in subtly throughout the movie, like he's wearing like his tan suit. Then later he's wearing a blue suit with a red tie. And then at the end, he's wearing like his Angels jersey, and he's got the like a little frilly halo, like a tinsel halo on. He's just 100% in. So good for David. Good for David Montaigne.
He really bought into hey, lighten up,
Right.
Really bought in. But now we get to some heavy hitting scores, because this one's way up there for me. This is like the feel-good movie that you watch and you're like, what's going to happen. And you're just like stoked when it does happen, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go 8.3 baseball hacky sacks here out of 10.
3's up there, man.
I really like this movie
in on Field of Dreams. You caught the feeling.
It's heartwarming and wholesome. It is the cast is stacked. There's many very good scenes. The quotes are funny. There's funny jokes in this. And yeah, it's just you just watch it, you feel good about it. There's not very many things to point out that are illogical outside of why would you fire the guy who's coaching literally unexplainable baseball for the last like 2.5 months.
I really like this movie a lot, but it's ultimately this is a movie for children, so it's kind of a mess, like the way it's put together. The plot's fairly straightforward, but it kind of meanders a little bit. Performances are good. Props it up. Like you said, it's insanely quotable. This does have what I'm looking for in a baseball movie, and I will say it again. I've said it every week. It's a movie that has heart. And this movie has a lot of it. It has a ton of it. It handles some fairly mature themes. I think it does it in like a really dignified way. It just and that goes from like a custody disagreement, custody battle, whatever we want to call it, abandonment, like a desire to be wanted, and then faith. A faith in a higher power or whatever it is, a faith in something larger than yourself, something bigger than baseball, something bigger than you. I think it does a really nice job of that. And again, it's a Disney movie, so they have a team of writers on this one. I'm going to give this movie a 7.4 out of 10 snake tattoos.
Yeah.
I really like this movie a lot. It is a children's movie, so like this movie did not win an Academy Award. The cast did. And I think that counts for something. But the movie, it's a little much. It turns into a non-smoking ad at one point, and you could tell that it's just a sign of the times. This is whenever they put Joe Camel out the pasture with the Marlboro Man. But I remember distinctly going to baseball games and seeing, 1, cigarette ads, and 2, smoking.
The problem with all of that is
there's a lot of smoking in this movie. There's 3 real heavy smokers.
Yeah. The problem with all of this is that a camel rocking jeans and a leather jacket with shades on, smoking a cigarette is literally the coolest thing that's ever existed. And that's a huge
He's just
problem.
Kicking it with the boys down at the pool hall.
Hold on. We might have to cut a portion here, but I'm going to get up for a second and go show you something that I have that's real sick. I'll be right back.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, then I'll stall for time. But yeah, this movie ultimately, it does take a lot of I don't know how I want to put this, a lot of themes together. And the nice thing about the way it handles everything is dignified. It's everybody gets their flowers, except for the non-smoking thing. And where the end of the movie, the point is just kind of, hey, lie to Tony Danza, and then it works. So the moral of the story is ultimately lie to Tony Danza.
I apologize for any of our Spotify only listeners. I would recommend that you hop on the YouTube just at least for this part, if not to listen to the whole thing. You know how I know that Joe Camel's the coolest guy ever, and he's just looking just dripped out crazily down at the pool hall? Because they made this piece of merch. Look at this, dude.
Oh my God, you have one?
Look at this. This is the Joe Camel pool table ashtray.
Wow. I haven't seen one of those in years.
Brother. This is the coolest piece of merch that's ever been crafted by any brand ever.
Wow. Is it better than my Marlboro fanny pack? Yeah, I think so.
Dude, that's the coolest thing ever. Every day I get home, I toss my keys in this bad boy. And I remember that a smoking camel's the coolest guy that ever lived.
Yeah, I mean it's Joe Camel or Joe Cool. It's either the Camel with the shades or Snoopy with the shades.
That's
sunglasses. That's how you know they're a cool guy. And Joe Cool, I believe, also wore a leather jacket. I think when Snoopy was Joe Cool, I think he had a leather jacket.
He might have on
That's how you know he's a cool guy. He's not necessarily a good guy. He could be a bad guy, but he is still a cool guy.
He was a fighter pilot, so he's at least killed some people, probably.
Oh yeah.
Folks, we went on a little bit of a detour there, but I think it was necessary.
I agree 100%.
I think at this point, though, it's time to remember what's most important in this world. And it's not family.
It's cigarettes.
It's not family. It's not faith. And it's not cigarettes either, Chris, unfortunately. What it is liking and subscribing, actually. So like, subscribe, hit the button, ring the bell. And this week, I got a good one, Chris. We've done everything worldly that we can, right? But what about the things that we can't see? What about the things that we can't feel? What about the things that we can't explain? Which is why I need everybody out there praying that Jabbo just blows up, just massive. I need everybody out there. Divine intervention. whatever you believe in, doesn't matter to me. Who am I to say? But I need everybody out there asking your higher being, your higher power, to spread the great word of Jabbo from the mountaintop as Chris flaps his angel wings. We've entered the realm of the ethereal. And honestly, I don't even know what we're going to do next week because it seems like we've promoted this show everywhere it possibly can be promoted. So with that being said, I guess Chris is going to send us out this way. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining along. Thanks for flapping along, Chris. And thank you for getting your popcorn ready.
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Order steak by the plates, and in case after case, run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snake.